Vlad TV just went all the way off on Aries Spears. He basically declared war on Aries, called out what he saw as disgusting behavior, and made it crystal clear that Aries is no longer welcome anywhere near Vlad TV. And this whole mess started when Aries Spears jumped on a podcast and started airing out private conversations between him and Vlad, making the same exact mistake Boozy made before him. Aries already knew how Vlad reacted when Boozy went public and said they were no longer working together over money problems. But somehow, Aries turned around and walked straight into that same trap.
People have said, yo, the most popular guest that Vlad has on, Lord Jamar, Tony Yayo, Godfrey, Boozy, and Aries. I'm the only one left. Godfrey stopped because of the beef with Farrakhan, as did Lord Jamar. Tony Yayo just doesn't do it anymore. And Boozy wanted a raise. Come to find out, Boozy wanted $35,000 an episode. Wow. He was getting $25,000.
Wow.
So I don't get nowhere near that. And, you know, obviously it's based on the numbers because a lot of Boozy's clips are in the millions. Now, again, I've had a few clips in the millions, but a lot of my stuff, the full interview, probably ranges around 300,000 to 500,000. So I basically said to Vlad, I go, hey, listen, man, I'm not trying to rape you financially. I know I'm not going to ask you for what you gave Boozy. But, you know, come on, man. I mean,
break bread.
Break bread. And he goes, well, your numbers don't generate what Boozy generate. And so I showed him a bunch of, you know, people that quotes on YouTube and like that and on my phone. And one person said, hey man, I only buy Vlad subscriptions when I know he's interviewing you. Once the interview's over, I cancel the subscription. Another guy said, hey man, Aries is a beast. Pay him what you pay him other and blah, blah. So there's a bunch of these. So he goes, so you want me to pay you more based off what people are saying? And I said, listen man, again, I'm just saying, be fair. People are saying to you, they're buying subscriptions. People are saying to you, they only watch when I'm on. And of all the guys you had that were popular, I'm the last one standing.
Then Aries and his co-host kept talking like they were about to pressure Vlad for more money, acting like Vlad had no choice because Boozy and other big names had already left the platform. But Vlad clearly wasn't feeling that move at all, and once he heard it, the situation got ugly fast. Now look, if you're really thinking about holding somebody hostage for more money and using your leverage to squeeze them, that's probably something you keep behind closed doors. You don't go blasting that out publicly while still trying to act cool with that same person. But Aries Spears took it all the way there, even throwing a few slick shots at Vlad along the way.
What's your take?
Yeah. It's a couple things. And you hit the ones that you needed to hit.
Yeah.
What do you have wanted?
That's beside the point. He asked him to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, a couple grand more.
Yeah.
That you said, you're the last one there. So he's not going to generate numbers. And if you go, where are those numbers going to come from? Now he's going to have to do episodes with people who are doing much less.
Well, here's the funny part. So, of course, he, was being really like, blah, 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 blah. And I said, he kept driving that point home. You just gonna you want me to give you a raise based off what people are saying? I said, listen, man, you don't have to keep telling me about what my worth is. You either want to do it or you don't. So then he texted me back a couple hours later and said, we should talk. I re-looked at the numbers and we should talk. So come on, man, what are we doing here?
Aries told his version of the story, but he conveniently left out a major piece of the situation, and according to Vlad, that missing part is exactly where the real disrespect happened. That's what pushed Vlad to draw a hard line and straight up ban Aries from the platform, making it clear he's not welcome back on Vlad TV. Then Vlad flipped the script and started exposing Aries, saying he was being super rude to staff behind the scenes. On top of that, Vlad painted him as a diva.
The Aries Spears, we started doing interviews around 2016. And I thought Aries was extremely funny. He was witty. He had great impressions. And I just thought he was a talented dude. So we started doing interviews. And in the beginning, it was a little bit slow. And over time, it started to work out. The views went up, people got to know us, and the audience started to increase. Now, the thing about Aries, though, is that Aries would always have issues with things that are going on. So at one point—
Business-wise or just culturally?
Business-wise.
Okay.
Business-wise. So a few years ago, Aries called me and he was like, yo, man, I can't get any acting gigs because of these clips of me talking about people. Now, it's my fault he can't get acting gigs. It's not because maybe he's not a great actor or maybe he hasn't done a major movie in 30 years since Jerry Maguire. It's my fault that he's not getting acting gigs. So I said, I'm not removing anything. You know, he wanted all the clips removed. I said, I'm not gonna remove anything.
What year was this?
Oh man, maybe about 4 years ago or so, something like that. And you know, at one point, you know, he stopped talking to me, stopped working. Then at one point he came back and we started doing more work together. My staff would always complain that Aries was disrespectful to them.
Really?
He would show up. At one point, he forgot his towel, right? You see his towel on his leg sometimes because, you know, he sweats a lot because he's kind of overweight. And he forgot his towel and he's like, yo, I need a towel. And Leo, my video manager, is like, well, here's some paper towels. Like, no, I need a cloth towel. So he made Leo go and run to the store and bring him back a cloth towel. At one point, Aries was complaining because he needed a makeup artist. I mean, literally the only person I've ever interviewed that needs a makeup artist every interview.
I mean,
Every interview, but I'm like, that's cool.
Wait, he needs a makeup artist every interview.
Every interview.
Oh.
Every interview. So there's a makeup artist, shout out to my girl Candace, who comes early to do his makeup, and then he does the show. And I'm like, that's fine, I'll cover the cost. It is what it is.
Claiming he would pull up making demands that most people, especially other male guests, wouldn't even think to ask for. There were already a couple things working against Aries Spears from the jump. First, Vlad is saying Aries was rude to the staff, and behind the scenes, people just didn't enjoy dealing with him. But since he was Vlad's guest, it turned into one of those situations where the team had to just tolerate it and keep things moving. Then the second issue hits even harder. If you're not pulling the same kind of views as Boozy Badazz, TK Kirkland, or other big names on the platform, but you're still coming in with extra costs, that's where things get tricky. Now imagine Vlad is already paying you up front, flying you out, even bringing in a makeup artist just for you, and then you're stacking on more requests. At that point, it starts looking like you're becoming high maintenance without the numbers to back it up. And if Vlad is only breaking even after all those expenses, still bringing you in off strength, then you turn around asking for a raise, that's when it really starts to feel like, come on now, this is getting out of line. But here's the wild part. Vlad was actually open to hearing Aries Spears out about getting a raise. He wasn't shutting the door, he was willing to talk and figure something out. But according to Vlad, Aries' attitude and behavior completely messed that opportunity up. Vlad took this situation very personally, and it goes deeper than just business. From his point of view, when Aries got caught up in that controversy with Tiffany Haddish over that skit where Aries played a predator, things got real bad fast. The clips went viral, people were calling it weird, and Aries basically got canceled. Nobody wanted to work with him, and he ended up performing in small, low-key comedy spots with barely any crowd. Now Vlad believes he played a major role in helping Aries bounce back through interviews and exposure. And according to Vlad, Aries even admitted that himself. So in Vlad's eyes, that came with a certain level of respect that should have been maintained. Not turning around and talking crazy, saying you're about to hold him hostage like he has no other options left. On top of that, Vlad said he was paying Aries around $4,000 per appearance. But after everything, Vlad started feeling like Aries had some jealousy building up.
Out of everyone that I've ever had on my show, like in terms of regular guests, I have seen Aries benefit the most. Because he went in the beginning from doing small comedy clubs to when our stuff started going viral and it started getting, you know, big on TikTok and so forth, things just absolutely took off for him. He got his, you know, and he talked about this on camera, the biggest show he's ever been paid for, Saudi Arabia. Was this the most money you ever made off a single show?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was it more than twice you've ever made for a single show?
We're gonna stop at the first question.
He did his biggest venue ever. He was doing clubs of maybe like whatever, 100, 200 people. He did a show in Connecticut with 3,000 people. He did a show in LA at the Novo Theater that I went to support. That was like 1,400 people. Aries would always, I have text messages from him. Yo, bro, he did his first Europe tour recently. He's like, yo, I'm in Europe and people are running up to me, mobbing me, quoting me from our interviews. So like, I think like a month and a half ago, he asked to raise his appearance fee again. I looked at the numbers and I'm like, cool, let's do it. Let's do it. The numbers are slowly getting better. And I'm like, yo, let's do it. Makes perfect sense. And he would say things like, yo, to all y'all haters out there who, talking shit about me doing this show, I get 5 digits every time I do an interview here. I get 5 digits while y'all sit at home and do nothing.
shoot.
I get 5 digits.
It ain't like I'm on there for free. He pays me.
Correct.
He pays me a nice 5 figures.
Yeah.
So if my choice is either stay home on a Tuesday and do nothing and earn nothing, or go sit down for an hour and a half and walk away with 5 figures where I could not make anything, what am I gonna do?
No, I agree.
I'm gonna make the money and I get to check them.
And I let him run with this story, but that was a lie.
Oh, man.
He was not getting 5 digits.
It's typical hip hop. You got to say you got a color TV when everyone got black and white, right?
Exactly. He was making 4,000 an episode.
Okay.
Right, 4,000 in
Still pretty good.
And when Vlad reached out to talk about the situation with Boozy Badazz, he claims Aries came back with nothing but negative energy, which just made everything spiral even worse. Now this is where things start looking real messy, because Vlad basically called out that whole image Aries Spears be putting on, acting like a strong, outspoken figure on his own platforms, but then moving completely different behind the scenes. According to Vlad, behind closed doors, it was more like, oh, thank you, sir. Appreciate the opportunity. A whole different tone than what people see in public. And that's why Vlad is saying he's not wrong for speaking up now. Like, how you mad at Vlad for saying you benefited from his platform, when behind the scenes, you showing nothing but gratitude and respect? Then it gets even crazier. Vlad is saying Aries was out here letting people believe he was getting paid 5 figures, like $10,000 or more, when that wasn't even the case. Meanwhile, you got people like TK Kirkland pulling in bigger numbers, possibly getting less, and not moving like that. That's when it really starts to look like things aren't adding up at all. Now this part right here really makes the situation look crazy, because the timeline just doesn't help Aries Spears at all. Vlad is basically saying Aries asked for a raise about a month and a half ago. And guess what? He actually got it. At that time, everything was cool, the numbers were the same, and Aries had no issue taking that $4,000. But then, everything switched up real fast. As soon as Boozy Badazz came out saying he was getting $25,000, suddenly Aries turns around and asks for another raise based on that.
So the $25,000 thing comes out. I'm out with my kids, right? We're doing like an escape room, if you know what that is.
Yeah.
Right? I'm out with my twins. We're doing an escape room, and I'm enjoying my time with my kids. So then I get these text messages from Aries. Yo, Boosie's getting $25,000. We need to renegotiate. And look at these comments. Look at these YouTube comments. I only watch Vlad TV when Aries on. Yo, Aries needs a raise. Aries is my favorite guest. He's the only one I watch. And I said, well, first of all, you just got raised up. You get nowhere near the views of Boosie. Nowhere near the views. Like, Boosie's just a way bigger figure. Have a conversation based on YouTube comments. He's like, yo, you're not gonna convince me what I'm worth. Look at these people, they say they come only for me, and you need to up my salary.
Oh, it's like a hostile takeover, huh?
And if you don't, then maybe we're done.
Oh, wow. Playing like that.
I said, listen, I'm out with my kids, right? I don't have access to my laptop, to the numbers or whatever else. So I said, all right, I come home. So I get home and I said, yo, now I'm home. Let's have a conversation about the numbers. He said, cool, let's do it. I said, cool, what time works for you? At 5 o'clock, bet. I change around my schedule. I clear my schedule out. And I'm like, okay, me and Aries are going to have a business conversation at 5 o'clock.
Just 1 month later. That's where it starts looking wild, because you can't compare your situation like that when the numbers haven't changed. And from Vlad's perspective, that move was never going to end well. You can't try to pressure or corner certain people like that, especially not in business. Vlad is basically saying Aries walked himself into a bad situation, like he set himself up from the start without even realizing it. This right here is where Aries Spears really burned that bridge for good. And if you actually look at what went down, it's hard to blame Vlad for how he reacted. At some point, it just starts feeling like games and nobody's trying to deal with that. Think about it. You ask for a raise, you get it, everything's smooth. Then a month later, you come back asking for more just because you saw something online. That's when it starts looking like diva behavior. If Vlad wanted to shut it down right there, he would have been justified. Like, I just gave you a raise, you only did 1 interview since then, let's talk again in a few months. But instead of cutting it off, Vlad was still open to having a conversation and trying to work things out.
5 o'clock rolls around, he doesn't respond. I said, all right, cool. Next morning, maybe around, 10:30, 11 o'clock, I hit him up again. I said, do you still want to have this conversation? You know what he said?
What?
Yeah, at some point. I looked at my phone and I said, I am done with this forever. Aries Spears. Because here's the thing, right? The whole thing about having your own business and reaching a certain level of success is you get to decide who you want to work with. You get to decide how you want to spend time with the type of people that are respectful, that can have regular business conversations with you, and not people like this who are just jealous ass pocket watchers. Because here's the thing, right? There's 2 types of jealous pocket watchers out there. There's the broke ones, right? And we've been there before. Yeah. But then you got motherfuckers like Aries Spears, who's doing better than he ever has, who's making more money than he's ever made in his whole career. And he's still jealous over Boosie. He's jealous of another man because he's making more money on a platform than him, even though he's making way more money ever. And it clouds his judgment so bad that he wants to crash out. And he doesn't even want to have a conversation. He thinks that these stupid ass comments justify his position. So I said, yo, I'm done. Fuck him. He's not welcome to the platform anymore. I don't give a
No more makeup?
Yeah, no more makeup.
Oh,
I'm sorry, Candace. I'm sorry.
That's what makes this even crazier. Because from Vlad's perspective, Aries didn't just push it. He took it too far and crossed the line. At that point, it felt like straight disrespect. And after that, Vlad had no reason to keep things going once it got that out of hand. I don't know how anyone can look at this and not call it what it is. This is straight fumbling the bag. Anybody trying to justify this move is missing the whole picture. Think about it like this. You getting paid $4,000 per interview, doing maybe 1 interview a month, that's easy money. On top of that, you're getting access to a platform that pushes your name out to millions without you spending $1. That's not normal, that's a huge advantage. Look at how the game works right now. These streamers, comedians, and content creators are paying clippers crazy money, sometimes 6 figures a year, just to push their content out and go viral. Meanwhile, Vlad TV was basically doing that same promotion for Aries Spears and even paying him on top of it. Now think about it again. There are thousands of pages reposting Vlad TV clips every day, but how many of those same pages are posting Aries stand-up clips on their own? Almost none. That exposure was tied directly to Vlad's platform. So Aries wasn't just getting paid, he had a built-in promotional machine behind him that most people would jump at for free, especially as a comedian who needs to sell tickets and fill venues. Losing that kind of setup, that's not just a mistake, that's a major loss. What better promo move than jumping on Vlad TV and telling everybody, I'm gonna be here, here, and here this month? Then that video hits 1 million views, people see your personality, start rocking with you, and think, yo, I like this dude, he feel real. Next thing you know, they buying tickets and pulling up to your shows. And now all of that is gone. Just like that, all because you started watching another man's pockets and comparing numbers instead of playing your position. You lost your main income stream and your biggest promotional tool at the same time. That's a tough loss right there. No way around it. But I want to hear what y'all think. Do you feel like Aries Spears messed this up, or was he right to push for more? And what about Vlad? Was he justified in how he handled it? Drop your thoughts and let's talk about it.